In 1916, the Mark I deployed for the first time. The tank was officially inaugurated into modern warfare. In a war fought in the mud, motorized vehicles weren't very effective. You could put as much armor on a car as you wanted, but if it got stuck, it wasn't really much help. The first innovation necessary on the road to tanks was the caterpillar track. Suddenly, the vehicle could churn through the mud, benefiting from better weight distribution. Armor that up, throw in a cannon or two and a couple machine guns, and bam, you've got yourself a tank. Now, the first thing to know about the tank is that nobody called them tanks. Tank was the name that got adopted after the British government lied to the factory workers building the vehicles, telling them that they were just making movable water tanks to be used in the deserts of Mesopotamia. The name tank was then adopted as the official code name, and thus the official name. After a development period, the first tanks were shipped to France in 1916. The result was epic. Kind of. Imagine the tanks rolling out on cratered, muddy ground, reaching 6 kilometers an hour. That's slow, at maximum speed, but often going significantly slower as they navigated the terrain. So really slow. Weighing over 31 tons, they also weren't the best at turning. A young Winston Churchill had specifically requested that they not be deployed yet. After all, they were a new technology and not really working that well yet. Besides, it would be better to use them when they were even more ready and could really surprise the Germans. Yeah, okay, nice idea, pal. Field Marshal Douglas Haig, also known as Butcher Haig, by the way, said, "Send them on out." Of the approximately 50 tanks that he had at his disposal, 17 were out of commission with issues before the attack even took place. One of them lost a track on the drive over to the massing point before the attack. A number of others just broke down on their way over. Roll them out anyways. Another 23 were stopped, or simply stalled, as they attempted to cross no man's land. Some of them just got stuck in big craters left by previous artillery fire. Others just got lost after turning the wrong way. All in all, only 9 tanks actually made it to the German lines. These guys were actually pretty useful though, since they could drive through barbed wire and over the trenches. Although one of them did get confused while crossing no man's land and started firing on the British troops before an officer managed to stop them. Actually, 2 of them did that. Another problem with a giant vehicle that moves at the speed of a tortoise is that it's pretty easy to hit. This is fine. Actually, it's not fine. Even though the armor could stop shrapnel and normal bullets, they could still get into the hull in places, meaning that the crew had to wear special masks which were kind of like the World War I equivalents of those Y2K shutter glasses, with chainmail over the mouth, of course. Also, if you start losing the battle, the Germans could just run towards you, faster than you could get away. There's not much you can really do if they get right next to you with a whole bunch of grenades, and it's a given that they couldn't do anything if an artillery shell fell right on them. Can't really bulletproof for that. Another problem was that making your vehicle bulletproof also made it hot. Very hot. With temperatures reaching 50 degrees Celsius, which is 122 degrees Fahrenheit, being on a tank crew sucked. Although, to be fair, everything in the First World War kind of sucked. The heat was in part due to poor ventilation, which also meant that all the carbon monoxide from the engine was in there too, fumigating the operators. Overall, the tanks managed to advance a couple of kilometers, which isn't bad considering how sluggish the Somme was, but considering that this was the first time anyone saw a freaking tank, it also probably could have gone better. Imagine how scary being the first guy to see some giant metal contraption slowly chase you down, going right over all your defenses. Anyway, that is the story of the first tank. Pretty good stuff. Repeat it to your family at dinner or something. I'm History with Dino. Thank you for watching. I will see you soon with another video. Oh, and like and subscribe if you would like to support the channel. Thanks.